All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the morning shift of car rides with Schla. I wasn't sure if I was gonna do this, but I think it actually makes a lot of sense, I guess, to do the morning shift, because I'm here. You know what I'm saying? So, as to recap, yesterday was, is today the 20th? No, today's the 19th. So yesterday was the 18th. I got my microphone stand from Ironworks, and what made me choose that stand is an all metal design. Some higher end mics that might be like $80 or $90. Mic stands, sorry, not mics. They are good, I'm sure they're very good, but they use plastic components, and the Ironworks is 120, but it uses all metal. So I guess it's possible that it could have been a bit of a waste, a bit of an extra, but I think it seems great. I'm very pleased with it. It definitely exceeded what I thought it was going to be, and it's a really good fit. I need to get a new holder for the actual mic itself. The one I have is some cheap piece of junk that's ready to fall apart. But yeah, so we have the microphone set up, and I'm assuming I will get to be recording some stuff now, which is good because I don't know if I've actually put this on paper yet or not, but I recently was talking about that. No, sorry. I wasn't talking about it. I was thinking about it. And, that attempt to kind of try to get back into recording. So, the thinking, the thought process behind it, and this is to get about my life. This is to get into things about my life. Sorry, I feel like I noticed that about me. I feel like I still have those little errors and stuff with speaking. I wonder if that's going to end with the Saturn return. I wonder when the Saturn return happens, am I just going to be 100%? But you know what? At the same time, though, I think a lot of people make errors, and I might actually make less than a lot of people. So that's another thing. With the quantity and quality of vocal output and delivery that I do deliver, I was looking for a different word than deliver because that sounded a little bit redundant, but I couldn't think of it quick enough. Hence, you might have noticed the pause. I feel like it's kind of warranted that there may be some stuttering or some this and that, you know what I'm saying? But I think, yeah, anyways, to rewind, we're at a point in life where for some reason I haven't really made any content. For a while I had a fear of recording. I don't know why. I don't know why I had that fear. I really wanted to cultivate close, intimate, and private relationships, I guess is what my calling felt like. That's, no, not my calling, that's just what I wanted. I just wanted, I didn't really want to be famous. I didn't really want to be in the spotlight or to be putting out content. So this all came just as a random thing that happened. I mean, it was never something I was going to do. No, that was just a random filler statement because I kind of was losing my train of thought. Rewind a little bit. I think it was always something I should have done or should have been doing, but I wasn't. I was really not hungry to have a fan base. What I wanted, because I've had that before at different stages in my life. I've had moments where I tasted fame, very small, but I tasted that impression that I was able to cultivate a following in a very small way, but it would always fizzle out. it would always fizzle out. But I think that was due to the lack of effort. I don't think any of the content I've ever put out has been raw. It hasn't been me. It's always been me lowballing it or something. I think, well, it's something I've talked to myself about before. I think that's the tricky thing with starting to record these, is it's like I'm making references because I'm used to talking to myself, but now it's in the camera and y'all don't know. But I guess just assume if I do say that, that's what that means. Like I'm referring to something that I've already talked to myself about, but I haven't talked to the camera about, so y'all don't know. Anyways, now I lost my train of thought. I guess I need to stop doing that and just like speak, because it always ruins things. But I'm also driving, so it's not optimal speaking conditions, but you know. Now, where was I? I wish I could, like, you know, play back the video real quick or something, but I don't. That would be very cool. It's possible. I don't know if there's an app like that out, but it's definitely like, I don't see why that would be impossible. No, actually, maybe it is kind of tricky. I don't really know how the saving of video files works, but trying to figure out what I was talking about before. Maybe I'll just rewind a little more and then keep going from there. Yeah, I wanted private, intimate, close connections. And it was like the content I put out was never my best work. Never. I always was worried about, and I always have this fear of lack of appreciation. I think I've encountered that very often in life. Lack of recognition, lack of appreciation, despite a lot of times me being very much, you know, above and beyond what a lot of people do. And again, none of this is to be egotistical, but I do think it's important to credit myself where credit is due. Now, I also think I don't really have much going for me in other ways. Like, I don't know that because I guess to balance it out, to make you not think I'm like, I think I have a lot going for me, but it's very singular. It's very much just this like talking, you know, and I am very good at talking, but even within talking, it's singular in the sense of it's like spitballing off the cuff. Like, my writing is a little bit iffy sometimes, you know, and so I feel like if I really was able to get my writing down, that would be like a very good thing. And if I was able to make refined content, because all the stuff I do is just spitball, and it's probably better than what most vocal content people can make. Like, nobody can even do what I'm doing right now, and so that is a skill. But I just can't imagine, like, if I could write it and just get it like organized and polished, right, that could be into the stratosphere. But I don't know if I'll ever be able to do that. But I want to emphasize that, because I think it's easy for people to like, oh, he's talking about himself in a positive way, he's full of himself, he's this, he's that. I don't think it's like that, because there's definitely a lot of ways I'm still very cautious, very humble, but I think it's important to be confident. I don't really see what I gain out of like trying to stay humble. Like, I think that's not really going to get me anywhere. Well, trying to stay humble with this specific what we're talking about, which is vocals, because I think I have very much a reason to be humble in some areas of my life, but not in this area. Like, I think from here on out, I do need to be forceful about, I am great at speaking. I am, and that's something I need to own. But in other ways, maybe to balance that out, you know, I can talk about the other flaws I have. But I think too, people don't really understand like just having a strength in something does not mean you just get a bunch of benefit. So in terms of intellect, because that's like a very common thing that I tend to talk about, like a lot of people just think like, oh, it's better to be smarter, it's better. And while yes, that is technically true if we're talking about in the objective sense, I don't think it's true for the human condition, meaning if you want to be a human, you don't really want to be that smart. You kind of want to hit a median. You want to be a part of the crowd. You don't really want to stick out that much as a human. You know, I think that's something people miss a lot. People do stick out. People want to be different, all this, all that. But I don't know that that's really... that's not what's good for a human. That's not what a human really wants deep down. I think that's sort of like this ego, hyper-individuality error that comes along with modern society, really. I don't think any human wants to be different or anything like that, deep down. I think people want to be slightly different, but I think maybe they want to be different in maybe more superficial ways. I think that kind of makes a lot of sense. All right. Guy being very rude, not letting me merge. Yeah, I think in superficial ways. I don't think anybody wants to be different, and really different. I think everybody wants to have something in common with somebody else, even if it's just one person. And so that gets into my theories about a bunch of other stuff, but I guess that's too much for just one morning shift. Because my theory about common interest and stuff, which I don't even know if that's recorded yet. Well, it probably will be by the time, because if I actually end up recording a lot of stuff, it's eventually all going to get recorded. Being smart is not really advantageous. It causes you a lot of social isolation, and I've definitely experienced that. Like, being smart is not all it's like it's not all it's superficially cracked up to be. I'm trying to think of, because I know it's good to vary your words, but I tend to, like, once I'm locked in on superficial, I just keep saying that. That's just not, I know that's just not like what you have to try to think of synonyms and stuff. But in some cases, I don't even know if it's as good of a way to describe things. Like, if you're saying a synonym, sometimes you might be switching it up to a less accurate descriptor of the word. So I wonder what that is with that. I feel like you just have to be, yeah, it's tricky to think about. It's easier to do in writing though than speaking, obviously, because speaking, I'm on the spot. So like, it's not going to sound right if I have to take time to think of a synonym, but that would be a cool thing to pull off. I do want to work on that as I cultivate my craft, right? But anyway, so people don't understand that, like, there's usually give and take with things. Even if you're really good at something, there's usually a give and take. So when I'm saying that I have the gift of gab, I'm like verbally gifted, there comes a lot of pain with that. And the pain is that I can't really find people that I feel like live up to that standard. It's difficult for me to have conversations, and that is a very painful existence, given just how much my life completely revolves around conversations. I mean, I think there's nothing else, absolutely nothing else that comes, like, everything else is second to me. Talking to a person and having a good conversation, there's nothing better to me. And it's been something that is difficult for me to find and achieve, because, I mean, you know how it is. Like nowadays, like a lot of, well, I don't know, I just think a lot of people do not talk like me, or a lot of people they get drained easily, like they don't want to talk that much. Like there's all kind of things that's very difficult for me to understand as a person who basically has a near unlimited social battery. Now it depends on the person. Some people I do get drained talking to after a period of time, just like anybody, right? But if there is a certain person that I really like to talk to, there is no limit. There is just no limit, right? And so I think that's a difficult thing when I'm trying to find people to talk to, because everybody has limits. And I think if I find the right person, there's just no limit, and that's too much for people, because nobody, like other people aren't like that. Nobody else is like, talking is like, they could be out there, but for some destiny, fate, whatever, they haven't crossed my path yet. I think they will at some point, though. I think that is what my life is. It's a waiting game. You know, I'm a late bloomer, and it's just a waiting game. But what do you say? Like, late bloomers are probably the best bloomers, right? I think that's something I should look into. That's kind of a cool concept. Like the like looking into the plants and seeing if the flowers that bloom later and the plants that bloom later, if they are like the more special plants, that would be something really cool to look into. I could make some kind of a connection to that, relating me to a flower. I think it's cool. Maybe it sounds a little corny on the other end, but yeah, I mean, that's kind of the thing, is like, I think I've always wanted early success. I've wanted historical success. Like, I've wanted to be able to do something early, young, and been like really on top of things. But I'm realizing that is not me. Like, I am not it's just not going to be me. My life is going to be all over the place. I think that's definitely apparent at this point. It's going to be tumultuous. It's going to be turbulent. It's going to be tricky. That is what I think my life's going to be. And it's been slow too. It's been, again, a very late bloomer oriented kind of life. But obviously there's something special about me that I'm seeing it out of the cracks when other people have slipped through the cracks and they're stuck. Like, I'm still not. And I think that's the other thing that I was going to say, is as miserable as I have been, because I feel like I've been a late bloomer and slow, and the thing is, my life is still probably better than a lot of people's. And so that's very relevant, because okay, I'm sorry, these people are just not, I don't know. I think a lot of people don't really drive that well, but oh my gosh, that made me lose my train of thought. Curse bad driver. No, I'm saying I don't even care. Yeah, no, I think my life, honestly, compared to a lot of people's, it's still been very good. It's still been very good. It has not been opulent, right? I mean, there's definitely people who are like richer, but in terms of good, I think it's been very high level, right? I mean, I have my problems with my mom. I have my misery, just like anybody. But I still think, like, I've probably seen more of the little things, more of the joy in life than a lot of people do. I think so. And I think it's a special life. And again, that's something that, oh, I'm egotistical, oh, like, you're hearing me, and no, I mean, it's because that comes with its caveats, right? It's more difficult to connect with people because my life's kind of out of the norm. My life's strange. So my whole thing is just wanting to connect, and it's difficult to do that, right? So don't hear this and think like, it is not, the path I'm on is not I mean, it could yield. It really, I do think like destiny is going to have it out for me with, I mean, that makes it sound, destiny's going to have it out for me. That's not what I meant. Destiny will deliver, I think, on my life. I really feel it. I've been feeling it a lot recently. And I think I will inevitably just, it's going to happen. I kind of know it now. I see the signs. I see what's going on. I'm having a grasp on the picture, right? So, but again, it's that caveat where I think a lot of people, and me included, I think they would kind of want to just be born to a fairly average existence where, you know, right? I mean, I don't know that I don't know that I'd really want to be a superstar. But I think that's what I've been given. I think that's like the task I've been given, is to really push and push boundaries. And I'm not a pusher, but I think it's time to start to cultivate that muscle. It's very weak. It's a very weak muscle right now. But you know, to be able to push and all that stuff. You know, I actually didn't even think about this, but I think the morning shift is probably superior to the end shift, because the end shift is like, that's like after work and I'm tired and all that stuff. But the morning shift is like, I'm definitely a morning person, and the morning shift is like very much seizing the moment, you know, like the morning shift. I feel like I'm communicating a lot better now and stuff than I was during Friday's night shift, because that was the first episode, was Friday. Yeah, so I'm trying to think about what I was, so much going through my mind. I'm always thinking of like all this stuff, and it's a little bit difficult. Well, I'm saying it's difficult to lock in, but clearly I think I'm more locked in than most people, even with, like, I think that's another thing I have to remind myself of, is I do compare myself to, I guess, myself a little too much, because it's like, I do kind of sometimes need to take a step back and realize like you are good, like you are not lacking, right? But that's part of the thing, is I think that nature of that aggressive, being hard on myself, I think that is going to cultivate a stronger and more impressive outcome than if I hadn't done that, right? That's part of my whole point, like about the way my life's been specifically. I mean, I don't know. I guess even saying that though, it's still kind of, it makes me shudder a bit. I get a bit worried, but I think there's been a perfection to it. And I think I mean, technically there's a perfection in everybody's life, right? Or at least that's what you'd want to think. That's what I'd like to think, but I don't know that that's true. It's very possible that, you know, most people don't just, I don't know. I mean, are most people just meant to not be special? Is everybody special in their own way? It's a scary conversation. I think it's commonly held beliefs. You know, everybody wants to think that everybody is equal, or maybe we value everybody as equal, but I think everybody knows that not everybody's equal. And I think it's scary. Well, it's scary for me. I guess a lot of people just might not even care. So yeah, I'm trying to collect myself. I knew what I was originally going to talk about was my struggle with other people, and, you know, how I get addicted. I mean, if I had been given friends like how I wanted, I don't think I'd be doing what I'm doing right now. You know, like, I think if I had the friends, I would just be like a standard social butterfly, and that would be it. I don't really think anything would be that profound, or I wouldn't have really had much to say right now. I mean, I would have, but it wouldn't have been as distinct, maybe. Like, I'm sure I would have, in a alternate reality where, like, everything's cool, and, like, I make the friends I want, and I have the connection that I want. I'm sure that I would still have a lot to say, but it might just be about things that are like, I don't know. It could just be, well, it would be different. I would be a completely different person. And just the strange things that I went through and have thought about have obviously shaped me very precisely into who I am today. And so I don't really think that should be taken for granted, right? Because yeah, I don't know. I don't think it should be taken for granted. Sorry, just when people are merging, I'm like thinking, trying to figure out what they're gonna do, and so that's usually why I would pause. But sometimes I do just pause. But yeah, I mean, people are like a drug for me. Like I said, there is not anything stronger in this world for me than somebody who can have a conversation at my level. There's nothing stronger. I don't think nothing is even close. But that's the problem, is it's something that is very difficult to get. A lot of people are just happy like scrolling TikTok or just, like basically doing nothing. And I guess sometimes I wish I was like that. It seems like an easy life, but at the same time, I don't know. Because you'd never know the difference, and you probably would be happier. That's kind of the whole point, is it's like, if you are somebody like that, it's not like you don't want to be like that. You're fine with that. And that's kind of the whole point, is we can assume that based on the human condition, you'd be happier as a result of that life. Ignorance is bliss, blah, blah. But I guess it's kind of silly to think like that and to try to numb myself to the pain or whatever, because I obviously do have a lot of potential to be something different, and I need to start cultivating that. But yeah, I think the whole humble ego thing gets tricky in my head, and I think I need to just forget about it, because I think I try to be humble, but that I don't really know what that's like gotten me. Like, it's important to be like that, I guess, but like nobody's credited me for being humble, and I just don't know what it gets me or is going to get me, honestly. I guess that's like, it just doesn't really, I don't know. I'm just not really sure like what I'm getting out of it. Like, I don't know. It almost feels like I kind of go out of my way to seem like, I don't know that it gets anywhere. But there's a balance with that too. I mean, sometimes you just can't come across like how you really are, because people get kind of intimidated or upset. So, I guess it's a good skill. I guess it's important to be reeled in, like, because you don't want to come across like arrogant, and people can very quickly page you as that, or page. Why am I saying? People can very quickly. I don't know what I'm looking for. How I'm trying to word what I'm saying. People can just very quickly like put that on you. Oh, this guy's arrogant, whatever. And yeah, like, I think, it's probably been another thing that's been good for me to cultivate, because that can really ruin. Yo, these people are so crazy. I don't know why people have no chill about like letting you merge. I don't get it at all. Like, I think if you're in the right lane, you need to be, this is probably something I'm going to say so often, I think the right lane should have a lower speed limit than well, I mean, it essentially does. It's just not on the books. I don't think people would even follow it, but you just should never be going fast in the right lane. I just think it just doesn't make any sense. Like, if you want to be going fast, go in the center or the left. Don't be in the right going fast, because there's obviously exits and stuff, or not exits, entrance, people coming on. And I just remembered, today's gonna kind of stink because my phone got disconnected on Friday, so we actually are probably gonna have to cut. Well, I don't know about later than usual, but we're gonna have to cut the thing a little bit sooner than probably I would want to, but it is what it is, because it's just like trying to do something a little bit dangerous right now, trying to put my name tag on preemptively. I guess it's good though, because I'm here early anyway. I got out of the house on time, I think. Yeah, I'm actually gonna get there super early, so it's good timing, because it's a day that. So I guess I don't really need to be in much of a rush, but I will be in a rush because of my semi-OCD, my self-diagnosed OCD. But yeah, I'm trying to remember what I was getting at. Because we only got like a few minutes left, maybe like 5 minutes or something like that, 4 maybe even. Just depends on the lights. It's hard to predict. Probably not 4. That's a little bit crazy. I don't know what I was talking about, because I got distracted with the cars there. And I guess I criticize a lot of other people for getting distracted, but I guess I do too. But usually not when. I guess the difference is I'm not really getting, first of all, I'm driving, so actually, I feel like I have a pretty valid excuse for getting distracted, because I'm literally supposed to be, I'm not supposed to be talking right now, I'm supposed to be driving, so it's kind of like, this is another example of me being, hard on myself, because, it's true, I'm getting distracted and I'm not able to do what I'm doing, but I'm not supposed to be talking, I'm supposed to be driving. So it's like another example of again, I just feel like I'm being hard on myself, because it's right, what am I on, what am I talking about, really, I don't know, because I guess the problem with but I can get distracted, because people, a lot of times I guess my mind distracts me, because I'm thinking of so many different things to say, or it's not even things to say, I'm just it's always on super speed, right? And so I have to kind of try to figure out what to say. I don't know how else to say that. No, it's not figuring out what to say, because what to say that I never really need to figure out. It's always there. I'm always able to push words. But what I'm trying to I'm kind of, oh my gosh, I don't know what's going on. The words are always there. Okay, so my thoughts are always running, and I'm always making new connections to things and stuff like that. So while I'm talking, I'm also thinking. And it's not like I'm doing that on purpose. I'm doing it, I'm not in control. I feel like I'm just out of control when I'm in general. And that's kind of the thing, is I feel like if I was able to get in control, that would be what pushes me from mediocre to, optimal, right? That's the thing, is if, I could just get the organization and the polish and all that stuff. Yeah, I think we're gonna cut the morning shift now. I guess I made it here in pretty good time, because I'm not super familiar with how fast I get to work typically, but yeah, it was a blast, and all that is now in the past. I will see you next time on Car Rides with Schla, aka morning shift. Well, because not aka, also known as morning shift. Not also known as the morning shift. All right, Schla out.